Alright, we good here? Alright, word. Alright. Okay, vlog. So, today we're gonna try something new and basically just run through an hour challenge. That's a long time. But I have some content today that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and it's something that I think requires a lot of attention and a lot of dedication to watching this video and really thinking about it deeply. Something I've hit on before, but definitely something where the more you think on this subject and really delve into it, the greater of an impact it's going to have on your life. And for me, it's been absolutely amazing the amount of change I've seen just from reading this book and from trying to act on the principles and becoming the Hermetic student. So I realize for many of you, especially the younger audience, this might be like super out there. And even for people my age, like I only have maybe 2 or 3 friends that are aware of this type of knowledge and this type of thinking. So before I get into this, I just do want to say that I did order Uber Eats. So yeah, I mean, use my code if you want $10 off your first Uber Eats. And like, I think I have like $20 off Uber if you've never used Uber before. But anyway, that'll be interrupting me in like 10 minutes. So like, we'll go down, check out Uber Eats, maybe try to make some analogies, who knows? But yeah, that's it for the intro. If you're new to the channel and you like Kabbalion and weird stuff like this, I don't normally talk about this, but yeah, hit that like for more crazy long videos like this one, talking about concepts from the perspective of a college kind of douchey frat guy. I don't know, kind of an interesting take if you ask me. So here's the book. It's called The Kabbalion. A little bit of history. How did I find this book? Well, I have a bunch of mentors that I watch and learn from, and this one is from a social dynamics teacher, and his name's Tyler. He recommended this audiobook, not personally to me, but in a video I had been watching to him, much like you're watching this video now. And he talked a lot about being at the cause of your own reality. And last year, around the time I found this book, I was definitely trying to find my voice. I mean, everyone's trying to find their voice. Everyone's trying to find the source within that is able to create content, original content, that isn't only valuable, but original. And this was like a turning point in that when I read this book. I will say it does help to have prior knowledge. So if you haven't read Eckhart Tolle or heard of Eckhart Tolle, highly recommend getting into that space before the Kabbalion, because it will be much easier to understand. But to get into it, the Kabbalion, this book is written by the 3 initiates, which, and it was written in 1912 or so, early 1900s. And here, I'll come nice and close for you. This is the Kabbalion. I listened to it on Audible. It's a nice read. It's only like $4 too. Like, to me, it's like $4 for this audiobook. That's absolutely ridiculous. This thing should be like at least 100. I mean, the knowledge in this is gonna change your life. So like, are you gonna buy like a hamburger, or are you gonna buy the Kabbalion? I just think economics of scale, even if that's even the right term, is absolutely ridiculous sometimes. But the Kabbalion, written by the 3 initiates, who were in the early 1900s followers of this ancient Hermetic philosophy that is based on the wisdom of a 3,000-year-old real person. Some considered him a demigod, named Hermes Trismegistus. And Hermes was basically this he was before Aristotle. Aristotle was like 480 BC. I mean, obviously before Jesus. This guy was like the OG person who figured out all this crazy stuff that, in my opinion, just from learning different religions in different classes at BU, from reading all these different types of texts, Hermes was like the OG. He started all of this stuff in terms of like manifestation, The Secret, Eckhart Tolle stuff. I mean, this guy was legit. He was definitely at the cause in his time, and I bet he slayed a lot too. But anyway, I have some notes here, and they break the book down to 3 initiates based off, like I said, Hermes' philosophy. But Hermes' philosophy was extremely complicated. A lot of it speaks in axioms. You may have heard the one, as above, so below. Even the phrase, be at the cause, is a little bit confusing. But the 3 initiates took all of his, it's almost like alchemy work and his very metaphorical sayings, and they broke it down in a way that is still very metaphorical, but at the same time, a lot easier to comprehend than your typical, like, reading from Hermes. And like, obviously it was in a different language. I want to say whatever the Egyptians were speaking back then, like Sumerian or whatever it was. I mean, I don't know. You guys gotta catch me on that if you know ancient Egyptian history, because I just know the principles, not the history. Anyway, these 7 principles that are broken down in the Kybalion are each one of them kind of bases off the one before. So they all cumulatively give you this package of wisdom that if you act on it, you're going to dramatically increase your life. Going back to what I said before about the whole idea of this being in axioms, written in metaphor, a very essential quote to understand by Hermes is, the lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. And just let that sit. Basically what he's saying is the wisdom in this book will come to you when you're ready. Okay, and this has a lot to do with the first principle, the principle of mentalism, and this kind of divine oneness in reality, where you just literally, first of all, you're taking a good step clicking on this video. That means you're at least a little bit receptive to this high vibration of energy that I hopefully am bringing to you. But at least maybe not I hope it's a high vibration. But it's, you know, you have the courage to, and you have the sense to watch this long throughout the video, and maybe some of you will watch the entire video. Maybe some of you will buy the book. Even if you do buy the book, like they say in the Kybalion, if you aren't ready, if your ears are not primed, if you haven't read Eckhart Tolle, then these words in the book are just going to be words. They're not going to have any meaning for you whatsoever, and you're not going to be able to apply them. Because, and even as I explain them and provide examples, it just might be too above you. And it does sound a little bit elitist, perhaps it is, but I fully understand where he's coming from, and I can definitely say that if I hadn't read Eckhart Tolle, if I hadn't been so into self-development before picking this book up, then I totally wouldn't have captured a lot of the lessons in this video. Let me also just say, I don't think I mentioned, I'm doing a full hour video for this. I plan for this video to be 60 minutes on the dot, kind of as a challenge to myself, and hopefully providing more value to you guys. So let's get into the first principle. I'm definitely gonna have some time markers below, so if you watch this far and you haven't seen the time markers in the description of this video, I'll put those out there. The first one starting now. So the first principle is the principle of mentalism, And the axiom you can remember this point by is all is mind and mind is all. So the definition presented in the book is, and in summary, is everything that happens has to be a result of a mental state which precedes it. For anything to exist, thoughts had to form first, which then form physical reality or manifestation. So this is very, very related to the second principle, as above, so below. However, it's a little bit more of an overall claim about reality. So it does sound a bit dualistic to say that there's this unmanifested reality and then there's the manifested reality. But in reality, they are coinciding, and it creates this one divine being, okay? Some throughout history have called it God. Some have called it the One. You can call it Krishna. You can call it Muhammad, Allah, Jesus, the Buddha. In many cultures, people associate their spiritual figures with this divine one reality. And what the Kabbalion teaches is the mental state that you currently are experiencing is a part of that. So the all is the mind. So the mind is the all, and vice versa, the all is the mind. Very, very complicated. I think this is probably one of the most difficult lessons to handle out of the 7, but just kind of roll with it. I'm trying to maybe think of an example. So I guess a good example would be if you think about an ocean, right? If you just take one drop of water from that ocean, that drop of water is technically a part of the ocean. Although it isn't the ocean, it is part of the ocean, and it is the ocean. And then vice versa, the entire ocean is a accumulation of a bunch of different droplets. So, but altogether, there's no separation of droplets. All the droplets are one, but just the nature of the universe, there happens to be these two concepts of this created reality, right? So there happens to be this concept of different individual drops that create the illusion of separation and distance between different drops, but altogether it's just one ocean. So similarly, if you take the universe, right, and you take this divine oneness, we all have consciousness, we all have our individual minds, but at the same time, while all our thoughts are on the same plane and it seems we're so separated from each other, they're all on the same plane, okay? I mean, there's this, and we'll get into this in the next one, but they're technically all occurring on the same one reality, okay? So while altogether there's this all, the Kabbalion likes to refer to reality as the all. It is a accumulation of different minds, individual minds, that aren't actually individual. Okay, so do you see how it's kind of like the lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding? It's like a paradox, right? It's like, oh, it's all one, but they're separated, but they're not separated. And it goes back and forth. The reason it's a paradox is because in order to fully comprehend this principle, you have to experience it. And that's why I say reading stuff like Eckhart Tolle is extremely important, because he shows you how to meditate, how to become one, and realize this experience and know it. You can't understand this book just by reading it. You have to experience it. You can't say, oh, I'm at the cause. You can't say, oh, as above, so below, I get it. You have to actually manifest. You have to become one with all of the other minds on that plane. And from there, I'm just checking my Uber Eats. From there, you have a full understanding. So that, in a nutshell, is the principle of mentalism. Number two, we'll go into number two. This is correspondence. Now, this is a relationship that I was talking about between the two seeming different realities that are actually one. So you have this concept, correspondence, which means as above, so below. And as above, so below. As below, so above. Okay? So based on the definition from the Kabbalion, just a quick summary, there is always a correspondence between laws of phenomena of the various planes of being and life. As above, so below. As below, so above. This principle states that there is a harmony which can be made, agreement and correspondence between these planes, delineated as the great physical plane, the great mental plane, and the great spiritual plane. So here, this is kind of funny. You might notice almost like a three-part structure of reality. Does that sound familiar? The God, the Father, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, right? So you have the physical plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual plane. That's pretty interesting. And how many different religions utilize this triad of explanation? And where does it come from? It comes from Hermes. I think this is my Uber Eats. Hello? Okay, alright, but alright, I'm gonna grab my food. I'll be right back.
Later, in the void.
Alright, so we are back. I think we filmed for like 17 minutes. We got into the principle of correspondence. Let me just quickly unbox this. I got some Poke City tonight. If you guys haven't had Poke, you are missing out. Very healthy and very, very tasty. Ooh, I even got chopsticks. Let's see if I can manifest a little analogy related to my Uber Eats. Although it is difficult to kind of think of something without knowing the rest of the principles, but basically what we have here is a bowl. Actually, I know what I can do. We have here a bowl of poke. Seaweed, salmon, shrimp, mango, some sauce on it. Now, as a review, this one little grain of rice, this little grain of rice here, this is part of the poke bowl, right? But it is not all in all the poke bowl. Okay? So, like I said before, the all is mind and the mind is all. All that means is that in relation to the next principle, there's a relationship between the two, and it's paradoxical, so you have to experience it in order to really get what that means. You have to eat it in order to follow and truly understand the concept. Let's talk about these three planes as we go on. That's so good. I might save some of this so I can just continue to talk. It's rude, I'm sorry. So there's the great mental plane. Let's start there. These are what this is comprised of all your thoughts. Okay? So as the principle of correspondence states, as above, so below. As below, so above. So all these principles are simultaneously working together. Your thoughts, therefore, are working on the same vibration as the reality that you're creating. Okay? So let's say you have a thought, I want to order Uber Eats. Okay? That is on the mental plane. Then, onto the physical plane, I pick up my phone and I take action. action is always on the physical plane, unless, of course, you're visualizing yourself taking action. And then I go on my phone and I make the order. Now, the spiritual plane, in my opinion, is the cooperation of the two. So you can think of them separately, but then the spiritual plane is the cooperation and the correspondence between. Okay, so now let's move into the principle of vibration. This one, you may have heard me talk about it before. The principle of vibration, which basically states that everything is in motion, okay? So motion is manifest in everything in the universe. Nothing rests, everything moves, and vibrations circle. The distinction between manifestation of energy, of matter, energy, and mind, and even spirit are the result of only different vibrations. The higher a person is on the scale, the higher rate of the vibration will be, and mental transmutation is described as the practical application of this principle. To change one's mental state is to change vibration. One may do this by effort of will, by means of deliberately fixing the attention upon a more desirable state. Guys, this is like the core of the Kybalion, and this is really the first actionable step. Now, as I said before, each principle builds on the one prior, so as we move on, I'll be able to give more detailed explanations and examples. But to start, if you just imagine yourself in the state you are right now, okay? Mental transmutation is the process of bringing yourself from one state to another state. So let's say right now you are engaged, okay? And you're watching this video and you're feeling very into it. You're feeling my vibration through the law of state transference. Whatever my energy is giving off, your motor neurons are actually taking in and feeling what I'm feeling, okay? So the odds are, as you're watching this video, you are pretty engaged, okay? Now, with me, as you're watching this, we can imagine a different state, okay? And let's first just start, because it is the principle of vibration, understanding that the state we're in, this engaged state, is a high vibration, okay? We're in a very high vibration. And you feel it, right? You feel motivated, you feel like you can go up and out, you're moving out, you're open, okay? You're secure. You feel good, you feel free. That's a high vibration energy. And if you've read or if you've heard of David R. Hawkins, you know what I'm talking about in much greater depth. David R. Hawkins has a book, I think, called Power and Force. I have read his book, Letting Go. Both books are all about moving up your vibration, okay? And he puts the vibrations on a scale. So right now, I mean, I haven't read Power and Force, so I don't know the exact scale, but I'd say we're somewhere on like a 500 out of 1,000. That's really pretty good, okay? I mean, I feel very good right now because I'm creating for you. I'm creating for myself, and you're feeling very good because you are learning together, okay? So we're on this plane of, let's say, 500. But I don't want to stay there right now. I want to bring us down, okay, just to illustrate the example. And now we're going to bring our vibration down by focusing on a different mental state. Okay, so let's think about something terrible, okay? Even that word terrible has a vibration of its own that we're already a little bit down in the scale, okay? Now maybe we're thinking about the first thing that comes to my mind, and maybe even notice as I'm thinking about it that I'm a little bit uneasy, I'm a little bit down, okay? I'm thinking about something really negative. I'm thinking about the Vegas shooting that happened several weeks ago where many people died, and it's a tragedy. It's terrible. It's a very low vibration feeling because it's very sad, okay? Sadness is not as low as we can go. We can go further, okay? We can even think about depression, feeling sorry for ourselves, feeling contracted, feeling self-conscious, feeling like someone is judging you, okay? Maybe if someone's judging you for watching this video, it's weird, right? Like, why are you sitting on your ass watching a video? Why don't you go out and do something? Why aren't you like, I mean, maybe you're watching this video to get better, but like, why haven't you gotten better already? What, like, people are making fun of you. People are, you know, it's very contracted, right? And even as I talk about it, I'm contracting myself. You can make you feel nervous, okay? See how it's very different? It's a low vibration. It's moving in, it's not moving out. It's constricting, it's not free. So all we had to do was talk about this, and it brought us down to this vibration. There's other ways you can do it. You can just do mental imagery. So you can visualize a low state and it'll bring you there. And you can hear it in your voice, you can feel it in your body. You can maybe start to sweat, get nervous, anxious. It's pretty crazy. But the good news is that you can actually bring your vibration up, okay? So right now we're at a very low vibration. We want to focus on, you can even focus on spiritual figures. You can visualize, like right now, the first one that came to mind was Eckhart Tolle. Some people call him Eckhart Tolle. I don't know, I like Eckhart Tolle, whatever. You can think of Jesus, pretty high vibration dude. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was at like, on the scale of 1 to 1,000, like before I said we're at 500, we probably just dipped below 200 in that vibration that I was in. I hope it was very clear for you, and maybe I'll make like a scale to show you where I feel we are in the vibrations. But right now we're probably somewhere around, we're getting up there, maybe like 250. Jesus was at like 1,000. Same with the Buddha. The all, as referred to in the Kabbalion, would be at an infinity, because it's the all, guys. I mean, come on. You can think about, let's see, sharing. Some really good high vibration things are sharing. There's some high vibration words. I mean, the Kabbalion, that's a very high vibration word because of all the principles associated with it. You can eat high vibration food. This seaweed is high vibration, along with the shrimp. You got you laughing, feeling good, feeling loose. Even higher, like I said before, there's certain phrases. One of them is, energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed. And just saying that and feeling it, you can already feel your vibrations moving higher and higher. And if you're sitting watching this video and you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay too. Like I said, the ears of wisdom are closed except to the lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. So like, maybe I'm only reaching 1 or 2 of you out of the several thousand that watch this video. But like I said, it's not elitist. It's just something that, and I hope it should be clear to you. I think it is pretty clear, actually, the different levels of vibration that you can experience and transmute throughout the day. So not only can you transmute it in yourself, like I said before, I can reflect it onto you. You can reflect it onto other people. And you can do this just by the thoughts that you carry around. And you might notice this as you're walking down the street. Some days you might be feeling really happy, and you look at someone, they look at you back, you have good thoughts. But other days you might be feeling really down, and you might be walking down the street, you see someone, you think they looked at you funny, that maybe they saw the pimple on your face. Okay, that's very low vibration. Focus and fix yourself in a high vibration. I can do a video in the coming days or weeks. If you're interested, let me know in the comments about how to raise your vibration. I've taken an energy awareness training that has helped me ridiculously not only recognize energy and what form it's coming in, but to actually physically change my mental state through some exercises I do in the morning that take no longer than 5 minutes. And you can do them throughout the day. It's pretty awesome stuff. But we're on the Kabbalion now, so we'll continue on to the next principle, which is the principle of polarity. So polarity, by its axiom, its little saying, everything has poles. There are 2 poles to everything. So in definition, everything is dual. Everything has 2 poles. Everything has its opposites. All manifested things have 2 sides, 2 aspects, or 2 poles. So that's the basic principle. And why is it significant to Kybalion and Hermetic philosophy, and how can you take action on it? Well, really, it's kind of related to the next principle, so an illustration will help. Here's something, okay? So, love, okay? We have love on one hand, that's at one pole of reality, that's at one vibration. On the other end of love, we have hate, okay? So we have love and hate. Love and hate. A lot of people say the opposite of love is hate, but really, love and hate are on the same pendulum, okay? They're on the same pole, and the word pendulum comes up in the next one, that's why I brought it up. But the opposite of love and hate, the love and hate are technically the same thing, they're on the same scale, they're just on the opposite sides of the scale, which doesn't mean that they are opposites at all. They're very, very similar. The opposite of love and hate is indifference, okay? Feeling no emotion towards someone, as opposed to feeling very strong vibrations of energy towards someone. So, love and hate, there's two poles. You also have bored and enthused, okay? They're maybe not on total ends of each pole, but they are on the same vibrational frequency. And like I said before, if you're feeling hate, or if you're feeling bored, or you're feeling unenthused, the best way to transfix your state, and this is what the Kybalion is all about, is to visualize yourself in a very active, loving state, okay? So, beyond that, let me just check on my camera, see how we're doing on time. Being proactive here. Okay, we've gotten about 32 minutes in or so. Not bad. How are you guys enjoying this? Leave me a comment as I'm taking a bite. I like this. I think it's fun. Maybe I should be like a lecturer. I would actually love to do public speaking. It'd be so good. One of the things that's really good about public speaking in relation to the Kybalion is, as a public speaker, you can feel into the vibration of the crowd in order to give them the energy that they need. That's a whole other concept, but might have resonated with you if you know what I'm talking about there. So, that's polarity. Then we get into rhythm. Now this one is very related to polarity, and it basically talks about how in life there's this rhythmic pendulum that flows from different poles, okay? So the principle of rhythm expresses the idea that everything there is manifested a measured motion, a to and from, a flow and inflow, a swing backward and forward in a pendulum-like movement. There's rhythm between every pair of opposites. It can be seen that the principles enable transition from one pole to the other and not necessarily poles of extreme opposites. So, like I said before, I sort of just explained this. Perhaps I can provide another example, but all it means is that if you're struggling in one area of life, as a practical explanation, all you need to do, you don't have to be struggling like at the bottom of one pole, okay? So like, for example, there's like, I would say anxiety is like on one end of the spectrum, then you have like maybe extreme grief or self-pity, and then depression, and then suicidal thoughts, okay? Even if you're anxiety, you can still use this mental transmutation to get to the higher plane, which would be sharing, love, caring, moving out, engaging, sharing, okay? So the goal of this lesson is to understand that it is so possible to get yourself out of a rut, okay? That's the practical example that I would say. And to me, this is like the secret of life in terms of mental health. and mental illness, having an understanding that you are in control of, even if you're at the very bottom of the pits of depression and maybe even on the verge of suicide, okay? It's very possible to shape your reality, to focus on the higher planes, to focus on the opposite poles, and to mentally transmute yourself to that spot. Albeit it is extremely hard, it's not easy, and it is probably helpful to have someone else helping you, but it is possible. A few ways I recommend doing this from a mental health standpoint would be to every single day before, like when you wake up, write down 3 things you're thankful for. And before you go to bed, write down 5 great things that happened today. What you're doing is you're visualizing that opposite pole. You're bringing yourself closer to that vibration. You're lifting yourself up, and you're bringing it to you actively. On the other hand, you don't have to be totally depressed like the principle says. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the extreme opposite of the pole, okay? Maybe you just are feeling somewhere in the middle, like, bleh, like, I don't want to do anything today, I just want to sit down and watch TV or whatever. That could be a state that you're in, right? How do you get out of that? Well, just focus on the feelings that you feel when you're extremely engaged and excited about the work that you're doing. Focus on the feelings, okay? That's the key. The feelings, the emotions. That's how you get yourself to take massive action, okay? You're going to take massive action, and you're going to share a lot and create a lot of value for those around you and for yourself. So focus on how good it feels to share, right? Like, how fucking amazing does it feel to just share with people? It feels so amazing. Focus on how amazing it feels. Repeat that to yourself every day, how amazing it feels to do this. What do you love doing the most? Focus on how much you love doing that and how you could possibly share that with other people. Moving yourself from one end of the pole or somewhere in the middle to a higher plane. It's all about raising your vibrational frequency. Okay. Now we'll get into cause and effect. All right. This is what I just released, my new hoodies, Be It the Cause, because I think this is the most clear statement that kind of sums up all of this. And I could have done as above, so below, but that's not as direct as be at the cause. So let's talk about this a little bit. We'll spend some time here. For every cause, there's an effect. For every effect, there is a cause. And I do have an entire video, 20 minutes long, where I explain this concept, but I want to touch on it again and maybe do like a 2.0, provide more examples, and really explain why I wanted to put this on the back of my merch, because I think it's extremely important. Being at the cause is recognizing the understanding of all of the previous principles and understanding how the universe works, okay? Understanding that your language is very important. We haven't talked about language yet, but the language you use has a very strong impact on the vibration that you're putting yourself into, okay? So being at the cause means understanding all of that. And just before we get into it, because this is something I haven't talked about yet, let's talk about language very quickly. What is the difference? Okay, so let's say my goal is to have $5,000 within a month, okay? Realistic goal, right? I think for anyone watching this video, $5,000 is not something, like, maybe it's a stretch for some of you, but like it's definitely not it's not a million, okay? It's not 100,000. 5,000 is very reasonable. $5,000. Would your language be more suitable to bringing you into the vibration of acquiring that money if you said, A, I wish I had $5,000, I want $5,000, I would do anything to have $5,000. Or B, I have $5,000. I feel $5,000. I feel worthy of earning $5,000. Okay? The difference is in the tense. So this first one, I wish I had. I want. Want implies that you don't already have it. And as the Kabbalion indirectly teaches, and as many religions teach, ask and you shall receive. The all will provide you. The vortex, as the secret in Abraham and Hicks answers, will give you what you ask for. So if you are telling the universe, I want money, if you're telling God, I want money, God says, yes, you do want money. It's putting you in the vibration of lack. It's putting you in the vibration of, oh, I want it, I don't have it. I want it, but I don't have it. It implies that you don't have it. And understanding that you're at the cause, you will now realize that every time you say, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, you're putting distance between you and your goal. That is the key. That is why I'm putting this on the back of my sweatshirt. Because now, understanding that, you can say, I have $5,000. And ask and you shall receive. The universe, the vortex, God, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, the all. When you say, I have $5,000, I feel $5,000 coming to me, it's putting you in a frequency to say, yes, it is coming to me. Pretty soon you'll be noticing all these opportunities to make $5,000. You fixate on that number, it will come to you. It will come to you as long as you truly believe and have faith that it will come to you. And this probably sounds a little crazy now, but trust me, it works. If you want to learn more about manifestation of money, I highly recommend Jen Sincero. You are a badass at making money. She talks about all of this different stuff. Also, Napoleon Hill. And if you don't believe me about manifesting what you want into reality or what you have, because want implies lack, I've said this before, but for the new viewers, I started with, at the beginning of the past summer, 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers, and I focused on having 1 million. And while I'm not at 1 million yet, I did follow Grant Cardone's 10x rule. I 10x'd what I wanted, and now I'm at 50,000. Okay? Focusing on already having what you desire brings you much closer, because it puts you in vibrational awareness, in vibrational frequency, and it brings your goals to you, okay? The universe works for you, not against you. It's just a lot has to do with language. So, let me take a bite. Let me check on this audio. Let me check on this recording again, because I don't have a camera that has a screen that flips out, so I have to always check. Anyway, being at the cause, all right? Every cause has an effect. Every effect has a cause. Now I want to illustrate what it looks like to be at the cause and what it's like to be at the effect. Hopefully giving you an example that, again, you can kind of feel into. So here's a great one. When I wake up in the morning, as part of my morning routine, one of my first steps, my goal throughout the day is to be at the cause. But one of my first steps is to put myself in a very action-taking, proactive, causal state, okay? So what does that not look like? It looks like this. It looks like me waking up, looking at my phone, checking Snapchat, checking texts from the night before. That is being at the effect. Do you see? So when I wake up and the first thing I'm doing every morning is reading texts from other people, requests from mom and dad, questions about schoolwork from friends, Snapchat from cute chick, whatever, Snapchat from fan, likes on Instagram, comments on YouTube. That's me reacting, okay? I'm at the effect while my phone, the notifications in my phone are at the cause. They're at the cause, I'm at the effect. Cause, comments coming in at me as I wake up, the first thing, effect, boom, not in control, not in control, okay? As opposed to having a set morning routine where the first thing I do when I wake up, I do my energy awareness exercise, I read my goal card, I meditate, okay? Meditation brings high vibration energy to you because it's very in tune with the all right? High vibration energy attracts more vibration energy, low vibration, the more you do this, the more addicting low vibration. Okay, this should be the home stretch. The camera got shut off. So yeah, wake up in the morning. If the first thing I'm doing is morning routine, putting myself in high vibration, meditating, high vibration energy attracts higher vibration energy. Doing a little morning workout, cold shower, brushing teeth, good hygiene, healthy breakfast. Okay, when I see my friends at the dining hall, in class, on the street, I go up to them, I'm at the cause, okay? Starting your day at the cause helps you continue your day at the cause, okay? So, walking up to a friend, you know, it's very, right now, it's difficult. I just had to pause for a little while, so I'm a little bit out of the flow. I'm at the effect, all right? And if I wanted to continue this video, and here's a good example, okay? So basically what happened, guys, is the video stopped and my camera shut off, so I lost like 10 minutes of recording. Not 10 minutes, maybe like 2 minutes. And it ended up also kind of taking me out of flow. So I'm at this sort of lower vibration right now, but I recognize that because I read the Kabbalion and I focus on just a higher plane. So we're talking about being at the cause and not the effect. Right now, in the frequency I'm in, I'm actually feeling a little better as I'm focusing on raising the frequency, and I'm able to be more piercing, okay? More at the cause, improv, sharing, okay? See how the more you focus on it, the easier it becomes to attract that higher vibration energy and to be at the cause, all right? So, and you can see this. You can see this in various examples. You can see it on a very micro level in interactions. You can notice it in yourself, okay? If you're talking to someone and you're in your head, you're likely at the cause because you're thinking about what you're saying, you're worried about what you're saying is good enough or cool enough, as opposed to being at the cause, okay? You're very high vibration. Boom, piercing, hey. Okay, that was pretty good, right? Hey, that's it. It's at the cause. And it's still a little bit at the effects because I'm worried that my roommates are bothered that I'm speaking too loudly, but that's the best I can do for right now. So that is the summary of being at the cause and not the effect. Definitely the number one little axiom that I've been focusing on as of late because it, as I said, it comprises all of the ones prior. Now, as we go into the next one, the next principle is gender, okay? Now, this one is also important, obviously, the last principle, and it's kind of preceding everything before it, so it definitely, it's like, if you can think about it being like a pyramid, it's like, if it's an inverted pyramid, it's at the top because it is, or maybe a concentric circle, it's the very outer one because it has everything in the middle. So this one, gender, masculine and feminine is everywhere we look. No creation is possible without this principle. Gender is manifested in everything. It is said that there must be a balance in these two forces. Without the feminine, the masculine is apt to act without restraint, order, or reason, resulting in chaos, and the feminine alone, on the other hand, is apt to constantly reflect and fail to actually do anything, resulting in stagnation. So this concept is, if we think about the creative process, okay, the feminine is kind of the loose flowing energy that allows you to get in a state of high vibration, okay? And it allows you to brainstorm cool topics and make sure the camera looks nice on you. If we're talking about me as an example, it allows you to enjoy good food and understand that feeling good in the moment is a part of creating good, right? The feminine, it's loose flowing, it's relaxing, all right? The masculine is action, it's boom, piercing, it's cause, okay? It's straight, boom, action, okay? Now that's a terrible use of words to explain it, but I hope the feeling and the understanding of masculinity, action, okay, right? Sorry, there's my frat side coming out. But together, you have this beautiful thing called life, right? You have both working simultaneously together. You can shift from your masculine into the feminine. Shifting into meditation is a very masculine state. It's calm, it's collected. Feminine, on the other hand, is fun, loose flowing, distracted here, there, everywhere. Actually, a really good place to study this. I took a class on Islamic and Jewish mysticism, and if you learn anything about Sephirot, I believe it's called, you have it's dating me, or not dating me, it's testing me. I think it's called the Binah, and if you look it up, Sephirot, Sephirot, it's very similar to the Kabbalion principles. If you Google the Kabbalion Hermetic principles, it's very similar. And it explains the Sephirot, or however, Sephirot. It's an explanation of manifestation, and it shows that you have to have both masculine and feminine coming from the all for proper and effective manifestation. So altogether, guys, that is the Kabbalion. I hope you enjoyed this hour video. I certainly did. Hit that like button. Shout out to Ty Lopez for encouraging me to do this 1 hour video challenge. What's next? 2 hours? I mean, 2 hours, that'd be sick. I definitely want to figure out my camera equipment a bit better in order to have confidence that I can roll for an hour without it stopping, because that definitely took me out of the flow. The Kabbalion, once again, $4 or so, maybe $5, and I think it's $4 on Audible. Get the book, okay? I just explained it, but you want to listen to this book multiple times. I probably read through it 5 or 6 times. I'm gonna shoot for like 7 or 8 by the end of this semester, because I read it last year. I sort of revisited it this year, and it's so deep, guys. It's so true. Be at the cause. Grab an 8 a.m. Be at the cause hoodie, because it's just going to be a constant reminder to raise your frequency, to be at the cause and not the effect, to create, to share, right? To bring your vibration up and not in. How are we doing on time? I guess that's it for today's video, guys. So that's it for today's video. Be sure to be at the cause, and I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. What's up, everybody? First off, I just want to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. But we're not over yet. This is the bonus section. I promised you guys that I would include 60 minutes of footage, but I ended up only shooting like 56 or 54 and a half minutes, something like that. So I owe you 6.5 minutes right here. And I thought that I would fill that with my energy awareness exercises. For those of you that did watch the entire video, thank you so much. For those of you that didn't, at one point I mentioned that I've been doing these energy awareness exercises that really help me get into high frequency, high vibration energy, a very sharing, very uplifting vibe, and something I just want to share with you guys right now in the next 5 minutes or so. So I can definitely do a video on it in the future, but for now, I just want to go over these principles with you or these little exercises, and I hope that you get some value out of them. So the first one that I do in the morning to kind of get everything flowing into high vibration, and it's very important that you do this immediately when you wake up without even thinking about it, because you can get sucked into low vibration within 2 seconds with just a thought. So first one I do, it's like the head rub. Okay, now do this with me. It's actually, you're gonna notice a difference. It's really crazy. I learned this like 2 weeks ago, and I've been doing it, and it's crazy. It's awesome. So like, get everywhere, move all the cells around. Okay, just for sake of time, we'll move on to the next one. This is the head rub. Okay, so I forgot. In between, you should be doing deep breaths. Okay, hold it and out. Okay, now forehead. You're gonna be taking 4 fingers and squeezing down hard and out, 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 out. 10 of these. 6. Push hard. Don't be afraid to push hard. This will increase your memory as well as your brain functionality overall, bringing blood to the prefrontal cortex. Okay, now you're going to activate your ears. The guy in the energy awareness video says your ears are, they look like little fetuses. That's what he said. I don't know. He said they're connected to a lot of stuff in your body. So really good to get these going here. Get them nice and activated. Squeeze them, tug them. If you have like an earwax thing, maybe get all that earwax out if you haven't done that in a while. Okay. Now, these are called collarbone taps. So find your collarbone here and just do 20 taps. Oh, we forgot to breathe. Let's breathe. And out. Also remember that you have to breathe. Yeah, so let's do another one because I think we forgot one in between. Okay. Now collarbone taps. 20 of these. Okay, now another breath. Let's do 2 more. In through the nose. And make sure your belly is going out, not your chest. Breathe deep into your belly. Okay, so that's the first part. There's some other ones. I'll just run through them quickly. But basically, this one you have to stand up for it, and you take they're called knee taps. So you're gonna raise your legs, right, like this, and opposite hand to opposite knee. So you're gonna do 7, and then you start on the opposite one. Yeah, I don't know. Mad weird. That's just what the energy awareness guy said. And just to give you some background on this guy, he trains, his name's Glenn Ackerman. You can't find him a lot online. His course is like very secretive because he trains like A-list Hollywood celebrities, and they don't want like his practices getting out and around. So if he saw this, he'd probably be pretty rattled, but I doubt he will. So that's that one. There's another breathing one. But that's good for now. I can do a whole video on that stuff if you guys like it. If you like how you're feeling, you should be feeling loose. Also recommend doing like 5 to 10 minutes of meditation after activating everything. Cold shower is always good too. But yeah. Feeling good? I feel good. So yeah. Energy awareness. Kabalion. Now actually, I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Hey, you get the bag and fumble it, I get the bag and flip it and tumble it. Straight off the lot, 300 cash, and the car came with a blunt in it. Lil' mama a thot, and she got ass, that she gon' fuck up a bag. Pull up to the spot, living too fast, dropping the stash.